Welcome to another edition of Open for Business, where the small business owner shares their stories and lessons learned. I'm your host, Marjorie Young, coming to you from Savannah, Georgia. Today's show is with business owner Laurie Brown. She is the founder of Aunt Lauries, an award-winning retail and online gift basket company driven by the passion to help people with disabilities learn job skills. So we're going to learn how she pivoted her company during the pandemic with the guidance of a nonprofit organization called SCORE. So SCORE is a national organization with a local chapter, and their mission is to mentor the small business owner for free. So Laurie's mentor is here with us today, Rob Cassavant, and please welcome Laurie Brown. Welcome to Open for Business, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So let's just jump right in. Laurie, what was the first thing that you did when you learned about the severity of the pandemic?
Well, I was sitting in my office looking at numbers and looking at, what I normally look at, customer base, and I don't want to say I panicked, but I'm like, oh my, because all of my local business was closed. So, and I do a fair amount of that. When I say local, the resorts and realtors and rental properties, that type of thing. Well, they were closed. So I picked up the phone, or I sent an email, I don't remember, to Rod, my SCORE mentor of 5 years. He helped me actually start Aunt Laurie, and said, oh, I was really nervous. And he calmed me down and gave me some things to think about. And I'm glad. It was good. I needed that. In fact, every now and again, I still do that. He sort of grounds me, if you will.
So your business has been, you started 5 years ago, correct?
Little over 5, yep.
And you have a very corporate background. What made you get into this type of business?
Yeah, I spent 30 years almost in the corporate world, automotive, learned a lot of skills, appreciated it, but I had a God-given passion, if you will, to help people with disabilities. So when the corporate life became unfulfilling, this passion surfaced. So I came down here, I met with SCORE. Rod has been with me from the start, 5.5 years ago. So we launched Aunt Laurie. It is an online business, but again, I do a lot of local stuff as well. But yeah, SCORE helped me from the start.
So I just want people to understand that the way you're helping people with disabilities or different abilities is you have them put the baskets together, or you weave the baskets, or how do you, and I'm going to show a picture of it. I'm probably one of the workers here. So
yeah, that's me out in the community. Part of what Aunt Laurie's passion mission is to be a very strong proponent of our local community. So I do help Special Olympics if they come in town, or when they come in town. So that was the bowling tournament. So that was my little friend that I was helping bowl. So that was Special Olympics bowling. She's actually at the Department of Special Needs, where we visit, myself and my therapy dog Trapper, which you'll see. So we have visited there. Yeah. So there's Trapper. And actually we're at the Department of Special Needs. And we like to visit with the members there. They're awesome. We have a little chat and we have a little fun. Trapper and I have been grounded, though, with the COVID challenge. So he's been on the bench for a few months, eager to get back out at libraries and visit nursing homes and things.
Absolutely. So these folks, you have them help with your business. So, I mean, that's huge. Yeah. If somebody buys your gift basket, they know that it was prepared by folks with different abilities.
Right. Aunt Laurie buys all the materials, and they all end up at the rehab center in South Carolina, Beaufort. And everyone in there, we call clients, are part of a state training program. So I pay the state, and the state pays these individuals to learn job skills, which is the whole mission of Aunt Laurie. That while some of them may not mainstream, many of them do. So they're there learning job skills, and they float around to different contracts, if you will. But Aunt Laurie is one of them. So they'll hand weave the baskets. They'll do assembly and shipping. So, but a lot of our products I've actually sourced now from over 20 organizations around the country, whether it's dog biscuits that are baked by autistic adults, our candles, our soaps, our lotions. We have new sweet heat jam. That gentleman is in Texas, and he has Down syndrome. So there's a variety of types of disabilities, but all those products end up in Beaufort, and then we assemble. And then we also use a lot of local product as well, whether it's from the Heritage shortbread bread or the Grind. I think you met Ian. I just picked up a shipment of my Aunt Laurie Bluffton Passion coffee that he makes me, or Bluffton Brew, I guess he calls it. Or I'll do Savannah, so Savannah Candy Kitchen, Savannah Bee, that type of thing. So we like to mix it up with local product as well.
So you have come a long way in 5 years. So when you first got to the area, you reached out to Rod, a SCORE mentor. Rod, what was that was like?
You know, I can remember that day, like the cliche goes, like it was yesterday, because Laurie came to the SCORE office and he was telling me her background and leaving a GM and Volkswagen, I believe, was her 30-year career. And we spent a lot of time talking about what her interests and passions were, you know, what gets her excited. Because you're really looking for an intersection if you're going to start a business with what's important to you, and what would be acceptable in the market or be successful in the market. And it was really a great first leading to next discussion when this started to take shape. And there are a lot of things, and that was also parallel to Laurie starting to meet a lot of people in the community. I think it's remarkable the connections that Laurie has in a short 5 years. It's amazing how many people, and it was intentional, because I remember we talked about networking and connection and all that. I think it was in your second or third meeting, Laurie brought in a stack of business cards, all these people that you had met and that were going to be somehow related to you getting this thing started. I also remember well, once Laurie decided it was going to be an online business, and the whole hook, which lined up with Laurie's passion of having people with disabilities being a significant part of it, how you can start small, and you can't predict the future, but you got to start. And you think about the number of baskets, Laurie, you had then with what you have now available in your business, and the customized baskets, right? You can go on to Laurie's site and you can make your own basket. So, but you had to start with something. I don't know, remember you started with less than 10 baskets. I know it's that with different.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's inspiring on many levels, and I could say several things on Laurie. She'll start smiling, but Marjorie, you probably know that Laurie one of 11 out of all the businesses in the country that SCORE supports, and we track that data, over 50,000 last year that we helped launch and support. So I think it was in 17 that Laurie was one of 11 winners, National SCORE Award. It was for community impact, which I think is a great story of what Laurie has done in the community and Aunt Laurie's and the positive impact. So that was an awesome event up in Washington. Yeah. Anyway, that was cool. One of, I don't know, 6 to 10 awards Laurie's won, but anyway.
Well, the mission is so beautiful, and it's wonderful how you've been able to tie it all in together. And in the same time, you're lucky the way it's set up, because during the pandemic, you were able to pivot. So how hard was that transition? I mean, how far along were you with your online sales before this pandemic?
Yeah, the online sales was from the start. When I launched, it was always the AuntLauries.com. However, that's hard to build. Everyone knows the search engine optimization, your marketing, your brand, all of that takes time. And everyone kept telling me, it takes time, Aunt Laurie, it takes time. I'm like, well, how much time? We don't have time. So as I'm building all of that behind the scenes, that's when I started really building the local presence. So it was more of an 80 local, 20 online. But then with the pandemic, I knew I had to focus more on online, just from an efficiency perspective, because I can reach more people, I can build a business. So I began working, these are some of our summer gift baskets. So this is perfect for Father's Day. And back with what Rod was saying, how we expanded the product line, we now have all kinds of sauces and honeys and all sorts of goodies for barbecuing in sunny summer. But I was able to, right about before the pandemic, I was blessed because I'd already started building Google AdWords, really heavy marketing, search engine optimization, keywords, all those things that I've learned over the years and had a lot of people help me. And I still have several people teaching me that actually built that online presence even better or more. So that when Mother's Day and Easter was the first holiday, then Mother's Day, and now I'm working my way to Father's Day, that online marketing and we had contests really helped me pivot to online sales. So I was just blessed.
Let's dive a little bit deeper. So if somebody's watching that also has an online business that sells jewelry or something, what is the first thing that they should do for, let's say if they're going to do Google AdWords?
Mm-hmm. First, you got to be careful. I would say be careful, because while it's important, you can spend a lot of money very quickly. So if you don't know what you're doing, it's fairly intuitive, but there's little quirks to it. I would suggest getting some help. Find somebody you trust that can sit and show you. But good photography, I've learned that over the years. While I thought, well, I like all my photography with purple background because purple's my branding. They're like, no, they got to have white background. So good photography, learn your keywords, understand your target market, and tippy-toe into the Google AdWords. So for instance, for Father's Day or Mother's Day, if you talk about jewelry, understand who your customer is and focus that jewelry to a specific target market.
So how would you do that? Let's say it's pearl earrings.
Pearl earrings, yeah. Get some really, really good photography or pictures of the pearl earrings that sell the best. Facebook is social media, Instagram, and Pinterest for earrings, but Instagram or Facebook would be a really good and more cost effective than Google AdWords. And set up an ad. Yep, set up an ad. Not boost it, but set an ad up.
There is you can go ahead and explain to people the difference with that.
Boosting, you can boost, but it'll actually only boost to the people that are live right now, that point when you're boosting. Mm-hmm. But if you set a Google ad, you can do it for the time. You can set $1 a day, or you can set $5 a day. So it's easy to monitor. You don't spend a lot of money. You could do 50 cents a day if you want. And you can watch it, but you can set your demographics, so pick who your customer is, female, what age are they? Do they shop online? Do they like to shop at Target? You can pick you can be pretty specific. And then you can say, I'm going to run this for 7 days, or I'm going to run it for 2 days. And I only want to spend $5 a day. So then you monitor that, see. But you always want to have an call to action. Okay. Here are my earrings, beautiful picture. This is what they are. And boom, here's the price. Click here to buy. So you want to have a call to action. You don't want them to think about it or go away. Always have some type of call to action, no matter where.
Not a brand awareness, reputation building thing. It's actually a call to action if you buy an ad.
Yeah, buy now, shop now, order now, check it out here. Mm-hmm. Some type of call to action that's like immediate, like quick, hurry. This is a short, for Mother's Day, don't forget. Or, for Father's Day, those gift baskets. You'll see, don't forget Dad. Father's Day is coming. Shop here, shop now.
So
shop early.
I would imagine small business owners were like, let's do the whole United States. Would you recommend big or small, or how big on your audience? I mean, if you're doing online, you can ship it anywhere, but
you can. But again, if you're watching your target market, and that takes time, I know where a lot of my customers are. But you can start small. If you're South Carolina based, you can pick South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and start there. Mm-hmm. And then say $5 a day or $1 a day or whatever it is. But yes, you can target. I know that a lot of my customers seem to come from New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania, whatever. So I'll pick those specific states. Or you can pick Bluffton, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia. You can pick those specific cities if you don't want to get, larger. Pick the Lowocuntry type area. And you could coastal empire, you can do that.
How did the people up in Maine find out about you? Was it through these ads or?
That's where, yes, the search engine optimization, the keywords, the contests that I run. When I run a contest, I capture their names and address. Yeah. So right now I'm running my second contest. The first one was for, what was the first one? Valentine's Day. This one is for giving away a Father's Day gift basket. I started it for about 3 weeks ago, I guess. And the beauty of that is you can have some wonderful photography and you say, hey, win now, win for dad. And you show the value, always give the value of whatever it is you're going to win. And then click here to enter. And oh, by the way, you have to put your email address. And then right now we're collecting, who will you give this gift basket to? Is it and so now we can then remarket. So I've got 3,400 entries at this stage. Guess what that does for Aunt Laurie is now I can remarket for summer barbecue baskets and then Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I'm gathering those names. So I've done that for Valentine's and now I'm doing that for Father's Day.
So then what program do you use for your email to send out?
Right now I'm using a new one, actually, Wishpond.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually helping me. It's a marketing company that I actually hired after I spoke with Rod about the panic situation, not panic, but pivot moment.
Yes.
And so they helped me pivot, and it was an expenditure, but it was a value added. Okay, if I'm going to do this and be serious about it, I need help. So I hired Wishpond, and behind that is a CRM and customer relationship marketing database.
Awesome.
But they're also doing my social media. So it's Instagram and Facebook contests that are then helping me collect that. And they do my distribution list. But I started with Constant Contact, and it was a wonderful, Constant Contact or MailChimp, both of them are just as good. But these contests is the extension of the Wishpond.
And you're up to helping me 500 on your email list. Now, how often do you email them?
We do quarterly or about every other month newsletters. And then I will do once a week-ish e-blasts. I'm kind of cautious. I don't want to over push, you don't want to get in people's face but get annoyed. But if it's because it's Father's Day, it's a little bit more. So it's weekly.
That's great insight. And Rod, how did you hear about Wishpond, and what should small business owners watching this know about Wishpond?
I won't take credit for that for a minute. We were just talking about concepts of adjusting and being nimble, which I think you've had a lot of examples of that, and that's one of the learning. I think that's a theme of Laurie with Aunt Laurie over the last 5 years. We talk about continuous learning and being a lifelong learner. Yeah. We talk about that in SCORE all the time, right? But I think it's about doing that and really looking for opportunities to say, what did I learn from this, and how do I adjust, and how do I apply this? And most successful entrepreneurs, you're pretty good at that. And and if you're great, you can do great things. Laurie's really good at that. I think, Laurie, if you said how much you knew about digital marketing 5 years ago,
not a thing.
Pretty limited. But
social media was just, I'm like, and now it's a necessary. It is necessary. I mean, and there's skill to it. But I haven't. But I like to learn too, and I like to know when I do have somebody helping me. I want to also understand it. So when challenges come up or when we have situation, I can talk intelligently about it. I don't have to be expert, but I got to have a basic understanding of it.
I want you to talk about your this page with your website. Whoops, that's the actual. Well, we got this one right here. This one right here. So if a small business owner is watching this, how come it's set up this way? Keywords, talk about URL.
Yeah, it's all about Google. Google has to be your friend, especially as an e-commerce business, but for any business. So it's set up, and I had help. I had a lot of help with my website support company, because all of the things you see there, the URL, the keywords, the shop, the crispy sweet and salty, which is our best top seller by far, it's set up by design because those are the words that are most searched for, therefore Google friendly, that pushes me up onto what they call the first page of Google. And that's hard to do. And that does take time.
With the unbranded words.
Yeah. So I'm blessed now that locally, if you type in gift baskets, Aunt Laurie will pop up because of all those specific words that we watch and know people are searching for. And so they're woven into my website carefully, because if you overdo it, Google doesn't like that either. So you have to be very cautious. So you learn that. You learn what to do, what not to do. But you've got to learn what Google likes. And the challenge is Google will change their algorithms frequently. So it's like this game they play with you. So you have to keep at it.
So what other tips could you tell folks about SEO?
A few things for your website, no matter what type of company you have, you better in the top header so that when somebody does go to your business, and whether on a mobile app, and you have to learn that too, where are your customer? Are they on a phone a lot, or are they on a laptop? What are they looking at?
And Google will tell you.
You better have your logo. You better have what is it that you do. So if you pull up Aunt Laurie's first page, you'll see gift baskets, you'll see Aunt Laurie, you'll see where do you contact us, so phone number, and then either a picture of your website or whatever it is, or a picture of your product. And that has to be prominent at the top. So if they're skimming, they're going to see, ooh, gift basket, and they're going to see purple. So that's another thing, consistency. When you are building your brand and your presence, you need to be consistent. So whether you're on social media, website, newsletter, press release, which you taught me, Marjorie, how to write a press release, all of those things, my shirt, purple, everything's consistent. My logo is the same. My fonts are the same. All of a sudden, if you logged on and saw green, everybody's going to go, what happened to Aunt Laurie? She's always in purple. What's going on? So you have to be consistent. Your messaging is consistent.
So how did you pick purple? I mean,
that's my favorite. I was born with that. So my office is purple. You can see that wall behind me. And Trapper is always, somewhere there's purple. So if you log on to Aunt Laurie, you will see that theme. And it's consistent. So if people see me out in the community, or they pick up my rack card, or they pick up my business card, it's a familiar tone. And that kindness, that genuineness, that has to be consistent with your brand. So if you're trying to sell the jewelry and you're a high-end pearl jewelry, that's what you want to sell. And you want to be consistent with that we're high-end. We're not cheap. We're high-end. And that's consistent.
Okay, so you've been in 5 years now. What's going to be your next step, knowing that we're part of this pandemic still? I mean, what are you going to have to do? And Rod, what advice would you give to Laurie about the future in this crazy world?
Go ahead, Rod.
It's a great question without probably a simple answer, because I remember Laurie presenting we're in Savannah. I'm in Hilton, that's why I say down in Savannah, at A Million Cups a 3 years ago. And it was a similar question from a member in the audience. It's an entrepreneurial group for folks that don't know that. And it was a question about becoming national and building scale and all these things. And Laurie shared some of her thoughts about how to do that. Obviously, she's already got customers from all over the country. Doing that in a smart fashion, right? Even before the pandemic, how do you do that and do it in a thoughtful, manage your risk kind of fashion? Because Aunt Laurie's is a unique story and concept. And Laurie and I talked about that also early is people want to know your story because there's so many choices out there. They want to know the entrepreneur story. And if you connect with the story or you say, God, that's really cool, you will gravitate that. We make those decisions every day when we buy stuff, right? So we like the people and they're nice to us, or the story's really unique. Anyway, so that's part of it. So the advice of scale of a couple years ago versus scale in pandemic, I think Laurie used the words earlier. You got to know your audience. So you have to know what's going to work now, right? What are people looking for? Our mindset has changed, right? Everybody looks at the world a little different now, and there's some good things coming out of that, right? There's some connections that maybe we didn't have pre-COVID, but I think it's a balancing act of what how Laurie wants to grow this, and I know a big part of what she wants to do is how does she affect more lives? How can I impact more people, right? Because this is all about, this is a people business. Gift baskets is the product, but it's a people business by the people that make the products, who make the baskets, the note. If you get a basket from Aunt Laurie's, you get a note from them. So it's all very personal, high touch connection thing. I don't think Laurie will ever lose that, regardless how big this gets. But Laurie, let me give it to you. You know, as you're thinking about what do you want to do next?
Yeah, well, continue to grow it. This time, if you will, every year I focus on a word. So this year's word is focus, which was appropriate. So I was able to focus on this during this time to get more efficient. Because I've always, even through my career, I always was looking at process and efficiency. Yeah. So I started looking at, all right, what products aren't selling, what are, you know, I took the time to load my data or my inventory into a database now, so I do a better job of tracking. So I focused the business, but I also took the time to research and find more what I call friends of Aunt Laurie's family. I'm online and I search and I'm always doing that to find more products. So I found granola bars that are made at Spectrum Bakes, and they're adults with developmental disabilities. So I was able to take this time back to what Roger said and try to help more people. So I've got that product. And then I found whiskey crackers that are actually made in North Carolina by adults with disabilities, and they're crackers, dark chocolate with some Jack Daniels in them, perfect for Father's Day gifts. But they're also made by people with disabilities learning job skills. So I took that time to, as all of this marketing and all that effort that we just spoke about was kind of kicking in, to work behind the scenes, so working on my business, not in my business, which is important.
There isn't a central database with all this? There is now. It sounds like you have one.
No, I mean, you got to work at it. You know, whether it's Facebook, no, there's no central database. But you can, you know, like the Autism Speaks, you can go in there, but you've got to work at it. It's not going to land in your lap. You got to go out and you got to find your suppliers, find your customers. If you think you're going to just set up a website and people are going to land in your lap, it's not going to work. You got to work at it. And while your website's building, that's why I had to kick into the local. So people knew me, they began to trust me. That's how you get testimonials, because people read those and it's important, you know. Oh, I just posted one today because it came in yesterday and it was really, really cool. And she said that she was a repeat customer. We worked with her over almost 2 years ago. And she came back because of the pandemic. And you're making me look good, Aunt Laurie. This is awesome. And I'm like, I got to post that, because you can't write that kind of a thing. Yeah. And she's a superintendent of a school district. So she sent all the principals gift baskets and personalized the note in each one. It was really neat. Yeah, we just finished though. And she ordered more yesterday. So.
Wonderful. It's really, it's such a great success story. And I just love that you're sharing these really deep dive tips. Do you ever have to sell one-on-one? I mean, what do you tell people when, like, if you go to a local place? I mean, do you do any one-on-one selling? You have any advice for folks doing that?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I just got a new wholesale customer. I made the first delivery yesterday. So we have partnered up with the Berkeley Floral and Gifts in Bluffton. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, I'll go in. I always, back to that consistency, I walk in, I'm prepared. Always make sure wherever you're going, if it's a corporate customer or if you're selling, I don't know, rugs or whatever you're selling,
Right.
do some research, understand their business, who you're going to meet with, make sure you're prepared. So I always have a purple folder that opens up. It's got my business card. Always have a business card with you. My rack card, my information sheet. It's all very well professionally displayed, and it lists all my special friends where we buy products. So I walk in, I look professional, no matter if it's a one basket or a wholesale customer. I may bring a basket or two with me because it's always easier for the customer to touch and feel your product. Make sure you bring one that's well made, well presented, clean, everything's perfect. You walk in with that. It takes it actually helps you because then they're looking at the basket, not me. And so it takes that nerve away, you know. So if you're walking in with a rug, you're walking in with a piece of jewelry or whatever you're trying to sell, and even if it's a service, make sure you walk in with your folder and open it up and explain it to the customer. They're looking at that, not you, and it takes that pressure off for you. And then just be yourself, be genuine. Listen, because the customer will tell you what they're looking for. If you really listen to them, they're going to tell you what their fears are, what they're nervous about. You know, let's use Berkeley. They were concerned about, well, what if it doesn't sell, or I don't want to sell something spoiled, or no worry. What do you know? Let me help you. Here is my best seller, and that's the one I walked in with. We will make sure the product is a long shelf life. Don't worry about that. We'll make sure it's the colors of the holiday. Don't worry about that. We'll make it easy. So make it easy for your customer and sell the value of it. You know, what is the value of Aunt Laurie? It's personal, it's handmade, it's local. And by the way, you're helping people with disabilities. Share that value. So what is it that your differentiator is? Why is your rug better? Why are your pearl earrings better? Why is your bug spray better? You've got to the customer has to understand that your differentiator. Otherwise, they can go out and buy a pair of jewelry anywhere.
Do you help them market? I mean, do you announce that your products are there, and also do you have an appointment when you go in, or do you?
Always, yes, always have an appointment. I don't like to be, I'm not a pushy person. So cold calling I've done randomly. I might, because I always have my little information packets with me always. And I'll be driving by and I'll see something. I'm like, So I'll pull in there, but I got to be in the right mindset for that. I'll be honest, but it's very important. You've got to cold call. You got to have the energy to I guess the confidence, if you will, to walk in, but that's a skill you got to practice. But I will always, in fact, yesterday, I'll just give you a good example. Walked in Berkeley, first delivery, and I said, I want to take a picture. And they're like, oh, I don't know. I said, we got to take a picture. And she's like, do I have to be? I said, yes, you're the owner of the business. She goes, okay. And I said, stand there, hold a basket. We're going to take a picture and I'm going to announce, you know, here it is. If you need a same day basket, go see, you know. So, and she's like, oh, I get it now. And so I said, we make sure we have the basket. We make sure we have a pretty background. You're handing the basket, you know. So yes, I always try to take pictures wherever I'm at, posting happy customers, or look where Aunt Laurie is with Trapper, wherever we are. You got to think through that. Always be thinking, oh, where am I? This is a photo op. It's a photo op.
It is. And then what do you do with that? And do you do an ad, boost, or just post?
All of the, well, usually just post Instagram, my social, you know, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook. And then I use the 80-20 rule. Here's another little tip. 80% of my posting is where in the world is Trapper the Wonder Dog? What's Aunt Laurie up to? Where is she now? What's new product? What are we doing? Where are we? And that, you know what that does? That builds brand. It builds trust in you. It builds trust in your brand. And then all of a sudden 20% is, hey, it's Father's Day. Buy now. That's the 20. You don't want to push. Social media is you're building your presence, you're building your brand, you're building your awareness. It shouldn't be your 100% sell, because that turns people off anyways. But 20% of the time, hey, we've got this Valentine's Day sale. Hey, it's Christmas. Or this pandemic, you know, now that you can't visit people face to face, why don't you send your love and you send something?
So Laurie, before we wrap up here, what are your top places that locally that you would like to get into? What kind of industries are you looking for? And I learned this from, was it Helen on the interview the other day? She rolled them right off. She said she wants to do cleaning with Tanger Outlet, and I mean so if somebody's watching that could make that introduction for you.
Yeah, well, Aunt Laurie's for several years we did Winningham Vacation because we work with a lot of the local resorts for welcome gifts, Lowcountry gifts, special events, corporate, and they just got bought out by Vacasa. So I would love to get a soft introduction in Vacasa. The other one is the realtors, anyone in the realtor business. Because we work and custom builders. We just got a call from a local big, fairly well-known custom builder. We're doing all their welcome baskets. Big, they're large. So any custom builder that wants to make a pretty impressive thank you for your business, welcome to your new home type would be a wonderful, yeah.
Awesome.
And the SAVANNAH, I would love to do work with any of your local SAVANNAH, the Westin, or the Marriott, or that new riverfront, the Kessler thing. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Somebody watching will have that connection. And then, so how can somebody get in touch with you, Laurie? And then Rod, I'm going to ask you, how can people, if they're looking for mentorship, how can they get in touch with you guys? So Laurie, how can folks get in touch with you?
Yeah, my website, which is Aunt Laurie's, AuntLauries.com. You can always send us an email, info@AuntLauries.com.
Okay.
Or if you want to talk to me personally, Laurie@AuntLauries.com. I make a point to like to talk to my customers, so they can call me and talk to Aunt Laurie anytime they want. I'm not one that hides behind that because I like to help. I like to listen to what they want and be able to help them make people happy.
Fabulous. And Rod, SCORE has just, I just love SCORE and what you do for small businesses. I mean, you guys help keep the economy going with mentoring these small business owners. And now more than ever with this pandemic, it's so nice to know that you guys, SCORE is there for them to seek out and get help. So how do they get?
She just called us young. She just called me young. Young dude, I like it.
It's so easy to get a hold of us. I could give you our local website. The national one's hard to forget, score.org. And if the first page says find a mentor and you put in your zip code and your request, it comes right to us. I will say one of the really cool things, I think we'll look back at this time whenever we have that opportunity to look back. But I think for us, for our team, we have a remarkable team of about 40 mentors, and I don't say that lightly. It's an amazing team. You've heard me brag about our team, all of our accolades. I won't do that now, but I will just say what's really cool is we've learned from our businesses, our clients, because we decided we need to adjust. We need to be nimble as a team during COVID. Like, we never put on virtual anything prior to this. All of our workshops are virtual. All of our mentoring are virtual. So we didn't embrace it before, and I don't know why, but this forced us into that, and now we have embraced it, and we're helping more people. Laurie's mission is to help more people. We're helping more people, and I'm looking at it. It's because of COVID. Who would have guessed? And we're getting to our requests sooner. If someone wants help, we get to them right away because we're leveraging the technology. So it's really, I know there's a lot of challenges that we're going through now, but I think collectively, and one of the things that's really awesome about this community that we're in, Lowcountry, and the Savannah area, is that it's a community of relationships.
Yes.
Don't be a cliche, but it's connections and relationships. And I know Laurie lives it because a lot of people know her, and so and then there's that. Oh, I've heard of you, so you want to do business with people you've liked and heard, and you got a common connection. And I think and people want to do well here. They want to do good. I mean, they want to do good for others. They want to help others. And it's a fertile environment for SCORE and businesses that want to have a positive impact. So that's my little commercial.
Well,
It's interesting because when I moved to the Lowcountry 6 years ago, I went to score.org and it did the same thing. Get a mentor, boom. And they looked at my background, and that's how I got paired up with Rod, and he still helps me. So it's not a short term, it can be a longer relationship as your business grows, or maybe you're getting out of your business. So it's just, don't think it's a one-off. They're around to help you, and they all have different skill sets. So.
well, I'm grateful that SCORE is around to help the small business community. And by the way, it's free. I think we have reiterated that it's free.
And
confidential.
And confidential. Yeah.
And confidential. And actually, statistics show that if you have a mentor, you're going to make more money. So why not?
Yeah. Some people don't like to ask for help, and that, you're not, even if you just need a, like I said earlier, somebody to spur me on. It's just nice to bounce ideas off, and somebody to give you guidance. They're not there to tell you what to do, just sort of give you things to think about. And it's just nice to have a sounding board.
We tell our new clients, if you meet with us and you're starting a business, or you have a business and you're looking to really accelerate growth, we pull in varying expertise depending on the need of the client. So it's not as though you're just going to work with one or two people. We have all sorts of different backgrounds, and we'll say, well, in our next meeting, we're going to bring in so and so and so and so, because they know this stuff that you need help with, and that's just the way we roll. And we'll bring in from other chapters. There's 300 some odd chapters across the country. We do that, because we're a big family of mentors, 10,000 across the country, if you will. One SCORE, as we like to call it.
Right. I don't think people realize that there's 10,000 volunteers with SCORE. And if you're looking for very industry specific help, SCORE.org, you can tap into that.
You can do it virtually. We have a whole virtual mentoring thing now. If someone nationally, we're going to get back to face here, but we will bring in people from other parts of South Carolina or Georgia or wherever that expertise might be.
Yeah.
We try to leverage this organization and their remarkable talent. It's really an amazing organization. I know I'm biased, but it is.
Well, a good example, though, is Marjorie's teaches several classes, and I've attended a couple of yours, but the whole how to manage your reputation, that's an awesome class that you taught me. How to do your timeline, know how to be in front of the press, and how to write a press release. Yeah, she's taught me all that.
So. Got my book coming out in a month. So
well, Marjorie has been a great contributor to our Thrive Lowcountry Women's Conference. So here's my little plug on Thrive. If it wasn't for COVID, we would do our 4th annual this year. So it'll probably happen in 2021. But Laurie smiles about this because she was there in the beginning, has developed this from day one, where we have, over 20 speakers. Marjorie, you were a wonderful lunch keynote a couple years ago. Tiana Tyas-Shaw has been our awesome MC the last couple years. We're going to bring it back. It'll be bigger and better than ever, but that's where you can learn things like how to write a press release.
Yeah.
How do you get great at social media? How do you, so many different topics that are relevant for your personal and professional growth. And I'm so glad we kicked that thing off, and that is an event that we will support hopefully for a long time.
I love the name Thrive.
Yeah, I remember that conversation. Why aren't there any women events down here? And I think you looked at me and said, will you help? I said, sure. That was almost 4 years ago, and we're up to over 200 women.
That's something.
We have BizPitch too, Rod. Remember BizPitch?
Well, yeah, BizPitch. We actually learned and borrowed the idea and a lot of support and insight from the SAVANNAH chapter of SCORE. Michael Siegel and his great team. They did BizPitch the year before us, so they let us borrow the name. Really great of them. And ours is focused on Lowcountry women. We did our first one last year, and But it's going to be a great event. We're gonna run the second one in the spring of 21. Again, COVID has delayed things, but it's a women's business plan competition with judges. We partner with the Don Ryan Center for Innovation, and that has been something we've been wanting to do for a while, because you really can kickstart business owners, whether you're just starting or you're in business, with some where you can learn about how to do it well. You can get lots of feedback from people in the community. That's the panel. And you can win fabulous prizes, cash and in service that'll help you with your business, whether it be free legal, free CPA, office space. So yeah, BizPitch 2021 will be coming. So thanks, Laurie, for mentioning that.
And I want to thank you for being on the show. And I want to thank everybody for watching the show. We're about 45 minutes, but it was packed. There were so many great tips. Thank you so much for really opening up and sharing hard-learned lessons that you have done through the years, Laurie. And yep, we will see you next time. If anybody wants to be on Open for Business, just contact us. You can contact us here, and we will be happy to get you on. See you guys soon.
Thanks, Marjorie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laurie. See ya.